Well, my screen's out. Got to check my screen. Can you hear me okay? I see there's two people in the room. Say something that you can hear me while I go and check my secondary screen out that's not on for some reason. There we go. My screen's on. Bouncing every time I take a step in this room because it's a wood floor that everything's connected to. Hey, Andrea, how you doing? Thank you for letting me know you can hear me all right. Make sure my mask is behind me. I'll be muffled here in a second as soon as I put my mask on. Oh, wrong way. Going way off of camera. Let me fix that shot real quick. Wrong way. There we go. Focus for me, camera. There's the focus. Thank you for the like, Sunny Gem. So this is the stone I'm going to be working on. You can tell that it's been worked on a bunch previously. In some areas, it's polished to a 1200, although it does not have its total final shape. There's a couple of things I'm not quite happy with it on. It's got a fantastic red peeking out and a green peeking out up on this area. And you can see a red and an orangish red and some green down here on this area. Yet this top area right here, this the brown is still covering it up a little bit more than I'd like it to, and the shape is not quite as good as I want it to be yet. And unfortunately, there you can see it right there. There is a crack going through this area right there through the base of it. You can see that crack right there. I'm going to end up having to cut that off there, and I'm going to cut this off right here, cut off some of the back, and get this to where it's ready to be a ring stone. I mean, it could be put in a pendant too. It's a fantastic looking stone in general. All the color on it is not directional. It's all just, it's there. Just depending on how the light is playing off of it. 4 people in the room. Hello, 4 people. So this is going to be a finishing the stone out because it took a long time to get it to this point. And that red is sort of at one direction, not a direction, but when it was thicker, it was an orange red. And then as I started going through it, it started to look like more of a red and not so orange. Now I think there might be a teal or a blue underneath this green, yet I'm a little bit hesitant to go through that green because it's so fantastic, as you can see, like it's just big and bold and bright. So I'm going to do some reshaping up here on this, and I'm going to remove some of the brown that's covering up the green on this area up here where my finger's going across it. And I'm going to trim some of the rest of the stone off. And oh, I forgot to turn my dot pot on. I should totally turn my dot pot on. Focus. So that when I'm ready, I can dop this stone. Although, you see how that's like a teal right there? It's like a green and blue. So that makes me think there might be more of that green and blue underneath all of this, but I'm a little bit scared to lose that green the way it is. It's such a great green and orange and red that's playing. Chasing one color to find another, scared I might lose some. But there's still plenty of work to be had inside of this stone right here, that's for sure. My mic stand is not wanting to sit the way I want it to. There we go, that's better. I'm going to put my mask on real quick, and I am also going to fill this bucket up above me, and then I will get into carving this thing. I have some new cutting wheels I just received. Sort of funny. I thought this wheel was going to be bigger, and I thought this wheel was going to be smaller. So I guess that sort of equals out right there. I got huge and one that I thought was going to be bigger, but this wheel is so large. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. It'll do the cutting I want when this nice size stone sits inside of it like that. And I actually hate that I have to cut this section off where there's that big crack running through the stone, but I've learned my lesson about trying to leave cracked stones together, that they end up sooner or later coming apart, and it would really suck to sell the stone to somebody and then have it come apart. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to work this section right here a little bit more and see if there's any of that teal running through that I see on the sides, because if there is some of that teal that I see in this thing underneath there, then it has to be underneath the rest of this too. Doesn't have to be, but I'm pretty sure it will be. Got 9 people in the room. Say something so I know who you are, 9 people. Type next to Andrea and Sunny Jim. Howdy, Matthew. There we go. I got a nice little drip going on. Although I can't, yeah, I'm going to have to back this up a little bit, or I'm going to have to move it either way. Moving that camera. This is fire agate right here, Ronald. One of my favorite pieces, and one of the things I have a whole bunch of rough to work with. But this is definitely fire agate. There we go. Get a nice shot right there. So before I go cutting on it, I am going to grind on it a little bit more. I believe Ronald is saying he's in Montana. Yo, Anna, how you doing? So the first burr I'm going to start with is a Varencore, and it's going to be a flame tip 600 bit grit, because I've already done one like this before on here, and I don't want to use anything too aggressive. It's not you, it's the camera's having problems focusing every now and then. The vibration that goes through it when I move my feet and stuff on the floor can be a little bit of a pain in the butt for it. So there's still some bronze on this top area I need to take off, and a little bit of bronze on this area I need to take off to get that green a little bit better. But first, I'm going to start down here below this crack. because I'm going to have to cut this crack off. And since I'm going to have to cut through that crack, I want to check and see if below that it goes to a purple or a green or a blue below the green that's showing right there. This burr I'm using right here is a 600. Not very aggressive, but this is the last hard burr I use is a 600. So this one is a 600, and I'm specifically using it to try and see what's underneath of the green right here. I see a deeper red just starting to show. It's sort of obscured by the way the window goes through the other colors. I gotta adjust my mic. Give me 1 second. What I need to do is I need to change the, I need to fix this mic handle I use. Yeah, there's definitely a brighter red underneath of that. Or I should say a more dark red. Almost like a fuchsia. Well, at least, yeah, that makes me absolute. Can you guys, yeah, you can see it now. You can see that red, but it looks like it's almost like it's not as bright as the colors that are on top right here. I'm not going to worry about it. What I am definitely going to know is what I know is that, you know, if I blow through some of this green, then there's more good color underneath of it. Although if it is blue underneath there, then that's really a great color to be after. That color's blue and purple are the two most valuable colors. Hot pink is the rarest one I've ever seen, but I've only seen two stones like that, and neither one of them, you know, got carved into being anything fantastic. Yeah. Well, this side of this is not very well finished. I'm going to shape some of this up. Oh yeah, that's a bright red. Now I can see it on this side at certain angles. Right underneath that green, there's that red. It's really nice when you have a piece that has that many color bars sitting right on top of each other, because a lot of times you'll have a brown or a bronze in between the color bars, and these are just like color bar on top of color bar, orange, green, and that's definitely a red. Although to the camera it still looks a little bit orange. To my eye, it definitely looks way more red. I want to finish this stone and have it ready for setting in this video. I'm hoping it doesn't take me more than a couple of hours. My plan is for it not to take me more than a couple of hours. This stone, Ron, comes from my private stash that I dug out of California at the mining claim I have rights to, but Chris Rose, the Desert Gems and Minerals, owns. I have lots more this good or better also. Better is sort of hard to get. Maybe different colors, but saying better is sort of saying a lot. This is a fantastic stone. This is a top grade stone for sure. Yep, when I get finished, I expect it to be colors all the way around like the way you're seeing it, and it not need to be wet for you to see it like that. Well, I won't be the one setting it, and I don't make jewelry, but the final shape is going to be whatever the shape the most color is in. I'm not going to shape it for it to be anything specific, because then I would just lose a bunch of color and that would lose a bunch of value. Fire agate is one of those stones that it can be whatever shape it comes out to be. Typically, fire agate jewelry has to be made custom to the stone.
You've seen something similar to that, but it was more like a quartzite material. Well, fire agate is a type of quartz because it's a type of agate, but I don't know about quartzite. The only thing I've seen anything like fire agate is opal. Hello, hello, Anita Phillips. How are you doing, my dear? The first time somebody told me about fire agate, they said, oh, if you love opal, you're really going to love fire agate. Boy, that person was right. They were totally right. How do you mean, is it expensive? Is a piece like this expensive? That depends on what you consider expensive. Compared to some gemstones, no. Compared to, you know, typical quartz, sure. It's a loaded question. It's a question that sort of needs more defining in order to be answered properly. Compared to black opal, it's cheap. Compared to white opal, maybe about the same, but the colors in this stuff are better in my mind than to white opal. Like they're all on. When it's a really good piece of stone, they're all on at all angles. Like it just depends on how the light plays across it that you can actually see it reflecting at you. It's not something that has to be moving. Compared to black opal, this stuff is extremely inexpensive. Like the most I've ever heard of pieces of fire agate selling for ever in the history of it is like $1,000 a carat, and that's like a super amazing piece that the owner did not want to sell of the piece of fire agate. Typically, you can get good pieces of fire agate for $20 a carat up to $100 a carat. There's a fantastic stone in my store right now for 120 bucks. It's always on. It's got great bubbles. It took me like 12 hours to get it carved. And it is a fantastic stone. It has a lot of bubble shaping in it. I took my time to carve it. That green is really starting to stand out at all angles now on that one side right there. It's really getting to that point that it doesn't matter where I tilt it, it's always flashing. That's what I'm really looking for. I need to work a little bit more on, see, to me, the thing looks like sort of a smiling elephant. Like I got like teeth over here on the side and a trunk and then the head. And I even had a red and green eye pop out by themselves right there. And then these are like the ears sort of flapped over. I really liked it as a specimen, but yeah, I'm going to have to be able to sell it. And jewelry stuff sells a lot better. And this is going to be a remarkably large ring stone or maybe a pendant once I chop off all this other stuff on it. And when you go to carve stuff like this, you really need a tool that has a foot pedal on it, because being able to control how much spin you have going at any given time is really a big deal. So a little mark on this edge I want to get rid of. Excuse me 1 second, guys. I need to go and turn on my air conditioner, because with this windbreaker I have on to protect myself from the dust and stuff, it's hot. Give me 1 second. A sewing machine foot pedal. Well, if you buy the right type of tool, it comes with a foot pedal. If you watch my video on tools you need for carving fire agate and other gemstones, it shows you the tool I'm using here, and I got it for about $100, and it comes with a foot pedal. Hey, Jam A2B. Yeah, totally an alien rock, right? I could see an alien head there. What do you mean, how does it develop? You mean, how is the fire agate formed? Tell you what, that one section right there is way better than when I got started on it. It's looking really good. Now I just need to get this other section looking like that. Well, the thought process is that it's formed in layers. And a lot of people think that it's formed by geysers. Yet me and other people think that it's formed by hydrothermal vents underneath the ocean floor millions of years ago. And that areas of the, or that the fuck, I don't know what kind of sludge you would call it, but that it settled in layers with high amounts of iron and limonite, and that's what creates the color. The color is by reflection, refraction, and not the same way that opals. Opals, like the light plays inside and bounces out. Off of this, the light bounces directly off of it. Nanu. Yeah, that was a really quick video. It was, to give people an understanding of what a quick carve looks like, of just running through the different stages and stuff. When you get into pieces like this, you end up going back and forth between burrs and items and thinking one section is done and then drying it off and realizing it's not. So a piece like this takes a lot more time than what I carved the other night. Although I was a little bit worried off of when I was carving it that I was going to end up running out of pink and green at all if I just kept chasing to have it all one solid color. I'll probably come back to that at another time. Definitely starting to look better on that. Still have a little bit of bronze over the, what I like to say is the eyeballs, the red and green down at the bottom right there. They look like a red and green eyeball side by side. Right over top of them, there's a little bit of bronze. Hey Dakota, how you doing, my man? Yeah, I think you're right, Dakota. I think that it is possible to cab that one stone. There are stones that come out that you can cab, but it's just most of the fire agate forms like this one. Like, there tends to be dips and valleys to where working on it on a cab machine is really difficult. You end up ruining more stones on a cab machine than you get out of them. This one's going to be a banger when it's done. Anadar, are you talking about the one that's in my store right now? Yes, it could totally be a ring stone. The one with all the bubbles on it. I would get it while the getting's good because it's a very fair price. It is a non-stop green from all angles. Little hint of blue in one section, but the green is just amazing in it. And yes, it is totally good enough to be a ring stone. Absolutely. This one could be a ring stone or a pendant, just depending on who the metal smith is that ends up working it. See how much brighter it already is across this area, though? I still got a little bit of bronze right above that eyelid right there. Can you see that little bit of bronze? I want to lose that so it's non-stop green or red. Yeah, I carving is really where the art form is at when it comes to fire agate, Dakota. Like, you don't, oh man, keep letting my wheel brush down there. I don't want to. You really don't want to marry to any sort of cabbing machine when it comes to fire agate, because the colors tend to come out in very odd ways that it's just very difficult to get it really great with a cabbing machine. Every now and then there's a couple of pieces that come out pretty good, but the best ones are all carved. There's no question about that in my mind one bit. A fire agate mows between a 7 and an 8. This stuff is plenty hard enough to do ringstones out of. It's way, way, way harder than opal. I believe it's harder than sunstones. Definitely a 7 to an 8. The good thing about a 600 is it really brings out the color and doesn't just blow through layers. You can have hit a few spots you don't really mean to and really have the layers still be there. See how much brighter the top of that noggin is? I call it the head, like, because to me this is a face. Like, here's the trunk, there's the head, there's the ears. It's totally a face to me. See how much better that thing looks though? It still has some bronze on it I can see in a couple of areas up here I want to get rid of. But I don't want to brush too much down here because of how bright those colors are right there. I really want to keep those amazing brightness. And I want to keep my pressure light and my tool moving in circular motions as much as possible so I don't create flat spots. Flat spots are the enemy. Chuck P, no, this is not a piece off that hunk a few days ago. I haven't touched those yet. I've had a lot of people contact me about those. I've had people trying to buy them off of me and stuff. And I definitely need to carve some more of those. Because, you know, those pieces are going to look like this. Guaranteed there is color in those the way this is. This is a piece I started off camera that I have a good number of hours of work into already. But I figured I could finish it and get the end of it done on camera. It's really coming out fantastic. smoothing out the transitions is really sort of a big deal, and not taking the color off of one area while doing that is sort of a big deal too. To be able to have the color looking right and flow across the whole stone when you go to move it, like this one is starting to now. Now really, to me, I've got a little bit of bronze still sitting in that area right above my finger, just a little bit. I'm almost thinking that I might end up polishing past it as I go to my 12 and my 14. Hey, Catfish, how you doing, buddy? Because of the way this is working down here and its brightness is not showing up the way I want it to, I'm oops, I gotta hit something on my phone real quick. I'm gonna move to another 600, but I'm gonna move to my smallest flame tip so I can really get in the edges of there to really bring out the colors that are there without messing up the colors that are up top. I want this one to be really, really perfect. 1 second. Hello, 21 people. If you hadn't said hi, leave a comment so we know you're in the room. We can't tell who you are if you don't talk to us. Chuck, I am taking this one down to a usable gem, buddy. I am going to take this one down to a usable gem tonight. I plan on having this one in the usable gem stage tonight. Now, in order to do that, I need to cut off this end right here, because if you can see, there's a crack running through this piece. So it's going to lose that piece down, and it's going to be this piece right here. That's going to be the rest of it. What up, Resort Dog? How you doing, man? Ryan's got 2 live feeds he wants to watch. I'm going to be here for a minute, Ryan, so you can always check back with me. Who's the other live feed? No, never mind. Don't say that. I might lose people. What's the other live feed about? There's a question. Now, this little flame tip, I thought I had paid too much money because it was so small and it was the same price as all the other ones. I thought it was rather dinky, but it has been a total savior for when I'm carving. Hope you're doing well too, man. It's a spiritual one, huh? Yeah, you can go check that other one out. I'm not going to be talking to people about much spiritual stuff. I went to church on Sunday with my great aunt again, though. But that's not really for me. That's really just sort of to be supportive of her. Although I'm absolutely sure she doesn't think she needs my support at that place. Another thing I've learned is when you're trying to just work a specific area, even though you're going in circles, you don't want to have your tip going out full bore. You don't want to go wah, 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 because then it makes it to where you can't be as precise. So you just want to sort of pump the foot pedal a little bit, and you can be a lot more precise with your circles. Hi, Oliver. How you doing? Good evening, Modern Prospector. Graham Buck. How's it doing, man? Yeah, that's the good thing about having these type of masks I have right here is that they're going to protect you from the coronavirus. Those freaking paper masks those people are wearing, that's why doctors in China are getting coronavirus, is because that shit don't work. They have somebody wearing a full hazmat suit and then they have a paper mask on. Like, that's not going to protect you. Or them, I should say. This coronavirus shit, this is hardcore, man. AB Jam says, only dry air is good protection. Virus grows in water. I don't know about how the virus grows. I do know that that a simple dust mask is not going to protect people from that. And I do know an organic vapors mask probably will. Getting that bright across the whole thing. It's getting there. Cutter's tears. You're welcome, by the way, Graham Buck. I forgot to say that when I read your name out last time. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for saying thank you. Went a little bit off course there from where I was meaning to be. The devil's in the details, and man, getting these things just the way I want them sometimes is so difficult. It's nerve-wracking is what it is. Like, the difficulty level goes down, the more not worried you are about certain things. Me wanting to get rid of that bronze right there. The difficulty level is sort of up there. And then right along that red right there, there is a sort of shadowing. I'm trying to show it to you, but it's definitely got like a shadow in it. You see that red dot right there? Whoops, other side, right there. You see little bronze bits around that red dot. Those are what I'm trying to get, and they just don't want to go away. And I don't want to just dig in on that one spot, because then it creates flat spots that are a giant pain in the butt. And I also don't want to go over the color sections too much, because then you end up losing the color trying to get rid of a smaller piece that doesn't have the right color in it. Carving fire agate will make you neurotic, man. It'll make you crazy. It'll absolutely make you crazy. Let me see how my marks in this stone are looking by drying it up pretty good. Because I mean, right now the stone is just looking fantabulous. Looking really good right now. Oliver Lance, I appreciate that, Oliver. Thank you very much. Gotta dry it off a little bit more than that. Now, there's definitely a little line I see around that eye where I've been working it with this burr. I definitely have a little line there I don't like too much. You can see that 600 pre-polished haze it has on it. Well, I'm going to use this same burr, and I'm going to keep working in this area of the, what I would normally say is the ear up here. There we go. This itty bitty flame has almost lost its shape of being a flame. It's almost just a point now. I really use this one majorly on the green one inside my store, the one with all the little bubbles. London asks, what's my final polish grit? The final polish grit I use is a cerium oxide, an optical cerium oxide. It's about 100,000. I have like a pound of the stuff, whereas everything else I have that I've purchased is nowhere near a pound of it. The plan for this one finished is it's going to go up in the store. I'm going to sell it. I need some money, man. Got to get that money coming in. I keep meaning to post a bunch of fire agate up in the store for sale. Yet I want to window it. I want it to show some color so I can get better prices for it. And I haven't had the machine to do that. And I have a whole bunch of stuff I pulled out to the side that's like already preformed. But I just can't get myself to sell the stuff for like $20 and stuff like that. I spent too much time in the desert acquiring it, almost killing myself out there. And I could really use about $10,000 worth of surgeries right now. So I want to get that stuff out there and get at least a fair price for it, so then I can use that to get my ass back out there again. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Make some digging videos. I think I got all my other personal stuff worked out to where in about 6 months, everything's going to be dropped. It's going to be dismissed. Somebody finally started to realize that I wasn't the psycho they were dealing with. They were dealing with a different psycho, and that person gave up their hand too much, and so I got offered something that was too good to refuse. So I got to do a couple of weeks of bullshit and then just hold tight for 6 months, and then everything goes away. And I think I can do that. Resort Dog said kind of why he doesn't sell rough. Sort of the reason Resort Dog doesn't sell rough is he falls in love with his stones even harder than I fall in love with my stones. He knows it though. We've had this conversation face to face before. He's had a lot of people tell him that shit. But I get it now, man. Like when you have something so amazingly gorgeous and you spend tons of your life and your energy on acquiring it, it has a bit of a sentimental value that you don't really want to give it up to somebody that doesn't love it as much as you do. Don't worry, Oliver, I'll have some more. It just might be a little while. London Crom out. Are you talking about, is my back messed up? It's funny you should say that. I was working for somebody the other day, and we cleaned out one of the most disgusting places I've ever seen in my life. He was renting to the wrong guy. And cleaning out the renter's apartment, we had to take all the doors off, and cockroaches running everywhere. And we take the doors to the dump, and I'm throwing the doors into a dumpster, and I feel something in my back pull a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm okay. It'll just suck for a day or two. And then I go to sleep, and the next day I wake up and I can't even lift like 10 pounds in front of me. Anytime I try to pick up anything in my arms, my back was just going crazy. And that was on Friday. I was supposed to work for him again today, and he was paying me pretty good. But I wasn't able to do any work today because of my back, and I'm hoping that my back gets better here real soon. This doesn't affect it that much because I actually have the perfect position going on for me to carve and you guys to be seeing what I'm doing. Resort Dog want an opalized snakehead for $250,000. Yeah, he actually has an opalized snakehead out of the Virgin Valley. He's had geologists look at it and tell him that has to be what it is. And of course, knowing the way that fossils and opals run together. It's not hard to believe. And some of his opals are absolutely amazing, but being that they're specimens, you know, a lot of people are like stuck on the jewelry stuff, which I have found out myself recently. I had somebody contact me on Facebook the other day. Oh God, I just remembered. I got somebody that contacted me. It's been sick and wanted me to, I forgot to contact. But I had somebody contact me on Facebook just the other day asking about which opal spot is the best one to go to and which one has stable opal. And I pretty much said, oh, I don't think anything in America that has a FEDIG really has stable opal. I used to think that Idaho's opal was stable, but my friends and my opals have started to craze from there. It just took a while. After working them, they got splits in them. I think that's why they recommend that if you get any of their opal that you need to have it tripleted, I mean, not doubleted, made into triplets. Ryan, I wish I could do deep tissue massage, buddy, but every time I have money coming in, I have it earmarked for something else. Right now, I'm sleeping on a floor with a very thin mat. That has really helped my back recently. That's been the best thing I've done for it. I should have done that before the injury got worse. I need to dry this real quick and double check that red eye section. Yeah, I'm really sort of making too many lines right there. I don't like, you see those little lines? I really don't like those lines I'm making right there on the red one. It is getting rid of some of the bronze, but it's sort of aggravating me making lines like that. But boy, the colors are right now. I'd give them that. I think I need to go to a rounded flame tip and work that section and just hope I don't lose any color right there so that I can get rid of those lines. Now, I agree with you on the CBD there, Landon. Everybody I know talks about the amazingness of CBD. And it's not just everybody I know, it's also guys like Joe Rogan, and almost everybody talks about the amazingness of CBD. And I mean, I'm a firm pot believer. I've been taking it easy, so it's not so, I'm not going to hurt myself so much. See what comes off of this section with this broad tip. And get that green or red to show up right in that section. I want it to carry all the way over. one of the things about carbon fire agate is you're trying to make it to where it shows up from all angles by keeping it as symmetrical as possible. You want the natural roundness of fire agate to show out. And then when you really start to go too far, you lose directions. Like then all of a sudden the color doesn't show from a certain direction. Now it's easier to see with the naked eye that it's showing everywhere than it is with the camera. The camera really picks up the greens really well, but this is like a deep red to me, and the camera is showing it as like a bright orange. So my contrast might be off or something, but it's the natural optics of the camera itself. But on to you guys, it's a bright orange. To me, that's a really deep red right there. There it goes. Starting to look the way I want it to on that one section. Oh, except in one section. It looks like it sort of might have gone through. Yeah, I'm not convinced that happened yet. Probably gonna have to bring out that tiny little flame tip and try to use it very carefully again before I move on to the next stage. Now that area, I'm a little getting a little bit worried about because it looks like I went through the green into some more red right there. Can you see that? That little peak of red showing in the center of the green. And it looks to me like that was the teal was supposed to be on top of that red. When I'm looking at the side, see that almost teal color? There's a red below it. Definitely makes me worried that I don't want to go through that last little drip of red right there. If I go through that last little drip of red right there, I'm probably going to lose the color in that section, and that's no good. I don't want to lose the color. Time to dry it off and look. Yeah, I want to be careful with that area right there. I also want to be careful with where I brush that right there a little bit. I want to keep that coloration. A little section up there that's sort of off. Yep, dry it off one more time. I think it might be time to move on to a Nova point. The good thing is I got rid of a lot of the tool marks while I was working, because previously there was a lot more tool marks in it. The top definitely has a really good, like when you're 600 and your color is that bright on a 600 grit, you can see it everywhere like you can in the top, and in that side right there, that's really nice. Like that's definitely really nice. Now this other side right here, I don't even think that there is that great a color underneath of it. I might need to go ahead and keep going on this edge right here just to see if there's any more color there. I'm going to shape the back as nice as I can. I'm going to cut off this section right here, Ryan. You can see the crack running in it. There we go. You see that crack right there? So I'm going to run my blade right through that and chop that section off. And I'm going to slice it here, right there. And then I have a really big blade, so I'm going to take off the end of this on the back. And I'm definitely going to shape the back a little bit. It's going to be an odd shape, but any good goldsmith or silversmith should be able to make it awesome. And I really don't want to lose any color in any of these other sections. And it's not shaped so badly that, I should say, it's not carved so badly with tool marks that that I think I have to do too much to any of these other sections. The only section I think I really need to do some more to is this up here. But it's so weak looking on the back. I'm working backwards and upside down. It's sort of difficult. You can see a light green right there. Maybe if I'm going to carve this section, because if I can get that green and gold to stand up like the rest of it, then I'm going to keep it. If not, then that's going to end up getting cut off too. Cut off everything that's not really bright. I mean, this is at least a $200 stone minimum sitting in my hand. I mean, once it's put in jewelry, this is the kind of stone that Glenn Dizzen gets, like, you know, thousands for once it's in gold. Set in a gold ring, it's worth a ton. Thank you, Rock Climber. How you doing, my man? Yeah, with fire agate, you just take whatever it's going to give you as long as the color's really bright. Yeah, I do see some green hiding underneath that brown. Maybe I'll be able to bring it out real nice. Oh, I could do that if I wanted to, Landon, but they tend to not quite sell as good. They don't tend to sell as fast. Having it all prepared for the person that wants it makes it sell quicker. I mean, unless you want to purchase it right now, buddy. Yeah, Ryan, if you get into setting stones, man, that's really where you're going to make the money off of the stuff that you cut and the stuff that you dig, is if you can actually set it yourself. If you can do the metal work too, then it really, really makes it worth it. Whereas people will buy the stone by itself for 200. Once it's set in gold, they'll buy it for 1,000. Not too bad, not too bad. Hey, Lapidary Dave, how you doing, man? If none of you guys know, Lapidary Dave has a YouTube channel that has been getting a lot of views on a lot of stuff he's been doing recently, and I've had some of my other subscribers talk about how much they like his channel, so you might want to check out his channel. He might be a guy you really like. I've honestly only checked out one of his YouTube videos because I'm just always doing crap. I can tell you though, there's another YouTuber that I helped out with an idea and a suggestion, and he ran with the idea and the suggestion, and he blew up recently. He went over 250,000, and I expect him to be over the million by the end of the year. And I can't wait till he's going to be able to help me with that, because the idea worked out so well for him, and he was talking about helping me out before that. And by helping me out, I just mean doing some videos with me. He's a firm believer that even though we're in the same niche, that he doesn't do what I do, which I agree with him on that. I mean, he has a little bit, but come on, you little nub, get rid of that brown. I see that green starting to poke through there, though. It's definitely greener than it was a minute ago. Thank you, Lapidary Dave. I appreciate that. Catfish likes Lapidary Dave's channel. Yeah, I actually used to have a section in my playlist section where I promoted smaller YouTube channels than me. And I actually took that down because of being treated like shit by one of the YouTubers. And that was part of the reason I took it down. Another reason I took it down is I started making a lot more playlists, which now I think my playlists have sort of gotten a little bit crazy. Come on, little nub, show that green on this side. get it to stand up properly. Want that little nub right there to be as bright as everything else, because otherwise I think I'm just going to have to lop it off. And I'm ready to move up to the next stage, I do believe. I probably could, Dave, but this is not actually Slaughter Mountain. This is off of Chris Rose's claim that I have a stake in. This is California fire agate, not Arizona. I know there's a lot of people that talk smack about our claim, but they either don't know what they're talking about or they lie to keep people away, which I'm glad they're keeping people away. I wish the poachers would stay the hell away too. Had non-stop problems with poachers out there, and next winter it's not going to be like that. If everything goes the way I want it to, I'll be out there next winter again. Me and one of my viewers, Nancy. Hopefully me and Nancy will be partnered up and out there. Although I have a couple of my other viewers that want me to start that shop in the mall. Yeah, Lapidary Dave, before you send me anything, make sure you get in touch with me on Facebook, because my addresses that you would find inside my videos are not accurate. So don't anybody send me anything, because any of the addresses you're finding are not actually my addresses right now. I won't get any of that stuff. To get any of my actual addresses, you have to convince me that you're not a big fat dick that's gonna like cause me problems, or what's the word I'm looking for? What is it when you out somebody, when you dox them, but it's not doxing, when you, yeah, that's what it is, doxing, when you give somebody's personal information away and then the whole world goes after them. I'm still not convinced that that green is really going to come out of this. Not in this one little nub right here. Give me 1 second, guys. I got something I need to mess with real fast. There we go. Now I know it's working. All right. What's that little thing looking like? Is it looking like I just need to cut it off? Sort of is to me. I lost the color in that section right there. Right above my thumbnail. There's no color on that one edge, but I mean, it's such a close edge. If I could just get the rest of it to pop out like the rest of it, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's like a ghost layer of color that's, yeah, we'll see. There's a last little section like this I need to work before I'm ready to go to different grits. Yeah, it's moving across. I'm right. It's in there, but it's really mixed with the brown. I think that little section is just going to have to go. If there's any really good color in that section, it's underneath of that cap right there, and I'm not willing to go chasing that down. I'm just going to end up losing that piece right there. Let me make sure this inside, let me dry it off real fast. Oh, really? You found a bunch of poachers out at one of the feed digs out there? Dumbasses. Yeah, Resort Dog, those places out there don't give you enough respect. You do a lot for them. Like, you're worth making a video about all on your own, just about you. You're interesting as hell. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. That is definitely looking pretty good. Little bit of lines in the center down there, but I don't think this is, I think this is too big. Yeah, that won't get there at all, and it'll just ruin other stuff. Oh, that might do it. Little bit of touch up. Forgot to check that side I was pointing at earlier. Yeah, Resort Dog is a hell of interesting person. He's a little bit off kilter, and some people just don't understand his personality. But he's super fucking intelligent about a lot of things. Like, he's really fucking, he's smart to the point of being crazy smart about some shit. But I will tell you this, man, some of my best friends would other normal people would consider crazy as fuck. Guaranteed. Some of my best friends, normal people would consider crazy as fuck. And the other thing is that normal people are fucking boring. They're boring, man. All right. Not sure whether I'm ready to chop it or not yet. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I can get into that really fine spot except for just moving on to some of my powders and then using a really fine not toothpick, but almost a toothpick size stick to get down there. Let me check something real quick. Oh, you're waiting on the convict and those guys waltzed in, huh? Yeah, they didn't know what they're getting into right there. Nuclear threat, I have not done any YouTube auctions in a while. Yeah, it's just too big. It's going to end up taking out some of my color right here that I don't want to lose. Let me get one of my little sticks real quick. Give me 1 second. That's about perfect. Oops, I'm not on. There we go. If you bought from some of my YouTube auctions before Nuclear Threat, have you purchased anything else? Or, I mean, have you carved any of the stuff you purchased back then? Just as a question. Oh, yeah, that's going to be perfect. So here I'm going to break into my DeShine. I'm going to go with a coarse soft, which is like a little bit not quite as coarse as the coarse. Got to get it wet. These are like the smallest dowels you can buy. I actually ran into them at Walmart. There is some fire agate in my store right now. There's going to be more later. And if you have requests, I will totally fill some requests. The more you spend, the better color you can get. The more you want to risk, the bigger pieces without color you can get. You know, I've never even tested this course, to tell you the truth. I'm just assuming it's going to be like a 600. No, my store is in Etsy. If you check the description, there's a link. There's a link to my store in the description, guys. Drip faster. There we go. I have a plan for a video I plan on making for you guys where I take a mirror and I figure out exactly what grits all of the DeShine are. But I haven't actually done it yet. Because the person that's supposed to give me the mirror hasn't given me the mirror yet. That actually worked remarkably well. I'm really surprised how good that works, actually. Yeah, it's thicker than a matchstick. It is the smallest dowel that they sell. It's actually a dowel. I cut all of them down, I think. I'm trying to see the package and see if I can pull it for you. But I actually walked into a Walmart and I was walking by the sewing and craft section, and those lines are almost gone. Damn, that course is like 600 on the dot. That worked really, really well. Let me dry it a little bit more. Maybe I can get you guys to see it properly. Right in that crease right there was a big line. And now it's like relatively smooth. It's like a nicer transition than it was before. I'm really impressed with how well that worked. I believe the coarse soft is really like a 600 on the dot. It's like a 600 powder. Like that turned out really good right there. I'm really impressed. There's still a little divot right there, yet it's so bright on the color that I don't want to mess with that divot. But I do know that this is my coarse stick now. I'm gonna have to move that to a bag for the coarse. That came out surprisingly well. I think I could possibly polish the rest of this without even using a Nova point now, because if that coarse is a 600, then the medium is probably a 1200. I can see the line there. You can see the line a little bit. Maybe I should just go ahead and work it a little bit more. I think I'm more just grinding wood right there than the actual coarse. I might need to get the coarse out again. Yeah, it's a really tiny craft making dowel. It's an extremely small one. When I was coming up with this idea, I thought about buying toothpicks, and then I found that the craft making dowel when I went to go buy toothpicks, and I was really happy because toothpicks are not near as strong as this. This is extremely strong compared to a toothpick. Huh. I'm not sure whether I'm going to put more coarse on there. and maybe keep going. Yeah, I think I am. That is what I'm going to do. Yes, London, there is a fee to post your stuff, and then there is a fee to, there's a 20-cent fee to post anything on there, which is rather cheap. But then after the 20-cent fee, there is a sales fee of 5%. And what really pisses me off is now they're taking 5% of shipping costs. So I typically just charge the real price of what it costs me to ship something to somebody. But now Etsy has started charging 5% on top of anything you charge for shipping. So it's impossible to actually charge the actual shipping price without losing something. Anybody that goes from a 600 to a cerium oxide does not want a professional polish there, Ryan. For me, the professional polish comes from going from a 600 to a 1200 to a 3000, a 3000 to an 8 or 14,000, and then after that you can totally go to a cerium oxide. Now the shine I use is so aggressive. It's so aggressive, but it shines up so good that it takes the place of a couple of different spots. Like it's pure diamonds. It's just so freaking aggressive. As you can see with how this course is done on this line right here. Like it really, the shine really does the work, man. It does the work. It's water soluble, and it is it seems expensive when you're paying for it the first time, but then when you try and use everything out of it and you realize how long this stuff lasts, it's not expensive at all. It's well worth the price. The shine is a fantastic product. I don't want to overdo it and end up losing my color. Just trying to make the transition a little bit better. Transition is definitely a little bit better. But like I said, when I get done with this one, guys, I want it to be perfectly finished. I want it to be done when I get done with this video. Look at that transition now, man. It's so much better than it was. Like that divot, the line that I had there, that divot is gone. Well, I think some people that give advice online give advice so that other people's stuff won't be as nice as theirs. I've had that happen to me, to where somebody told me, "Hey, all you have to do is use this one thing and this one thing, and then polish it, and it's good. You don't need to go through any stages at all." And when I questioned him, he got mad at me and was treating me like I didn't understand what the hell he was saying, where I perfectly understood what he was saying. But what I was saying is, for my stuff to look as good as his stuff inside of his studio, there's no way that that's what he was doing. And I still 100% believe that there's no chance that that guy was doing with the advice that he was giving me for his stuff to look the way it did. All right, I'm going to need to get a new Yep, that crease is perfect down there now, and it has the same haze as the rest of it. That DeShine powder is just so aggressive, and it does such an amazing job. That if that was the coarse soft, and it really does look like a 600, I think the medium has to be about a 1200. I think I'm going to put a wheel on and go with the medium DeShine, and I'm going to see if I can just polish this through DeShine all the way to cerium. Yep, I'm going to rinse my stone really good. I must have bumped the camera. All right, it's rinsed pretty good. Focus. There we go. I'm going to set this down. You guys can't see it. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to grab my wheels and my DeShine. Now that was coarse soft. I need a slower drip. This is going to be a medium soft. And once again, when you go to purchase this stuff the first time, it feels like it's expensive, but it's not. This stuff is well worth the money. They've only sent me one of each one of these, and I have not gone through any of them yet. 3 grams of this stuff lasts a long time. You can carve hundreds and hundreds of stones. Well, the question is not can you find fire agate, but what's the quality of it when you cut the stones? I've had a lot of people tell me that their stuff is just as good as, oh, damn it. Well, that's corrupted. I got to lose this one and wash it. Get rid of that one. New wheel. Good thing I just got a whole bag. Rock Climber says he can walk 4 miles and get fire agate, and that might be true. He might be near a really great fire agate spot. There are people that live right next to fire agate areas. But the quality of the fire agate that's coming out of that area, like does it cut stones like this and stuff like that? Because there are a lot of people that seem to think that because they live in an area where fire agate is abundant, that it's not a rare mineral, and that's just silly. It's like just because you live in a fantastic spot that it ends up not being that rare in your neighborhood doesn't mean jack for the rest of the world. And the other thing is the majority of places I've seen selling fire agate when I go to gem shows and stuff like that, the majority of them are selling crap. Like it might be from a fire agate spot, like an area that has fire agate, yet the majority of the stuff I've seen is not going to carve good fire agate. Like that's just the way it is. Not saying anything about you, rock climber. Your stuff might be fantastic. You might be right next to a fantastic area to get fire agate for all I know. Yep, that coarse soft is giving me about a 12. Peace, climber. That's pretty awesome, Shane. I think I need a little bit more to shine on there. But that coarse soft is definitely right around a 12. These bristle brushes are a lot cheaper where I got them on. I got these off of Amazon. They're a lot cheaper than when I bought them from Deshine. The Deshine bristle brushes are a bit more expensive, but these are really, really hard. Like they're not very flexible and very, very hard, whereas the ones I got from Deshine, they seem to be extremely flexible. That's looking like a mighty nice piece of fire agate. I'm going to rinse it, take this wheel off, because I think I'm ready to move up to another wheel already. Now, if you buy the shine to use it, one of the things I do before I put my wheels away is I go ahead and brush them, especially on the top and the bottom, so that it dries inside of the bristles. And the next time I go to use it, I don't need to load it first, and it'll be stuck to the bristles a little bit better. So that's one of the things I like to do. And also, when you put these bristles away, you make sure you keep them in separate little baggies all their own. Like this needs to be kept away from the other diamond paste that you're using, the other grits of DeShine. They all need to be kept separate if you use DeShine. All right, moving up to a fine. But before I do that, I got to wash the stone real quick. Should rinse your hands a little bit to get any of that medium off. Don't want it to stick there. Now I'm going to go and grab myself a brand new clean cloth real quick to wipe this down with. While I do that, I'm going to put a drop or two on this fine. All right, got my clean towel. I'm going to clean this thing off real fast. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Well, apparently there was another split in this that I didn't know about. Because while drying it off, it just broke on me. Had no idea there was a split there. Didn't want that to happen, that's for sure. Not happy that happened at all. Nope, I'm not. That was a really great section of it. Very upsetting, but really nothing I could do. Like that's just, it was naturally already broken there. I just never knew it until right now when I was drying it off. This agate, you can't pull it apart like that when it's a really nice piece. Like it just doesn't happen. This stuff, even very, very thin pieces will hold together. But that's all right. That's another little stone that'll go with it. Set that on the side. Makes me think I'm going to have to go through and shape that side a little bit. Shape that side when I do the back. Problem though is I definitely have to cut this piece right here with that crack in it. That piece definitely needs to be cut. I've pulled on that other section so much. Oh well. That's definitely about a 1200 polish. Still a nice ring stone regardless. And I'm still going to do what I was planning before. Now, I think this fine is like a 300 or better because I know that the super fine, the soft super fine, it's really bright. Like, I mean, it's really, really shiny. Got plenty of that there. Gonna cap my fine and put it away so nothing blows on it. Dropped my little ratchet tightener tool. If you lose one of these, you're going to be paying $100 for the whole unit again. I'll brush a little bit on this piece too. There we go. You really want to be wearing a mask anytime you use this to shine too, man, because it particleizes up into the air, and breathing that diamond dust into your lungs is really going to mess you up. So don't do it. Wear a mask. Look how shiny that bastard's getting. Woo, I tell you what, this shine is awesome. I love this stuff, man. The shine is the brand name. It is for dentists. Dentists use it for making teeth and for polishing teeth inside people's mouths. It is not available in a set that I know of. You have to buy each one separately. And last time I looked, I think it was like $60 per 3-gram little thing. But it's water soluble, and you can see how good this stuff works. Like, this stuff is amazing. Calvin Splain says he just got his progeny at Rio, which is what I'm using here, for $70. I mean, look at that. Look how fast that was. Like, it's ridiculous how good this stuff works, man. I love this stuff. This stuff is awesome. It's awesome. And this isn't the last one. I'm going to do the super fine after this. Although, I mean, it's so bright right now. You'd barely think you have to, but I tell you what, once you start looking at this agate more and more, you can really see the stuff that's polished really well as opposed to the stuff that's not polished really well. Nova points. Like, this was way, way, way better than Nova points. It takes, like, this to shine though would destroy opals because it's hot. Like, it definitely creates heat. It would absolutely destroy opals. But besides it destroying opals, for fire agate and other rocks that are not that heat sensitive, boy, you can't beat this. This is only a couple of minutes. Yes, sir, it's diamond polish. Sonny Jim says he lost me for a minute. Did anybody else lose? Ah, no! Damn it. Contamination. Gotta decontaminate real quick. Can't hit it with that deshine again until it's decontaminated. I agree with you, Resort Dog, that you can tell the difference between stuff that's taken to 100,000 and stuff that's not. That's why I always finish with a cerium oxide. I totally agree with that. Oh. Digging in on that edge a little bit more than I want to. I think I bumped my camera again too or something because I'm not right in the center of the screen like I would like to be. Could probably take this piece and the other piece I had break on me recently and take the two small pieces and make earrings out of them. Guys say you're having buffering problems, huh? I'm not sure why that would be because I'm hardlined in. My computer is run through a a Cat 6 cable that is running 100 feet to the modem. So maybe it's you. Maybe it's not me, man. I mean, I don't mean to blame you or anything. Look at that. That's about good. This one's like 2 shades of green now. I think that's about as good as that fine's going to get. I think that's right it. Although I think that stone could actually be carved a tiny bit more, but I'm not going to do that. Yep. All right, let's take this off. And then once again, before I put it away, I'm going to go and brush on some so that it's dried on the wheel next time I go to use it. Ah, damn it. That's fine. I saved it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I should rinse it. No, I think I saved it. Wash the stones. Did you make sure to use Ethernet lube on your cable? That's a good one, Sonny Jim. I never heard that one before. Oh, look at there. It popped apart for me again. Now I'm really glad I wasn't planning on keeping this as a specimen, because this is still going to be one banger of a ring stone. And this is what it looks like after I've dried it. Now I've got super fine and super fine soft. But I think super fine soft is the biggest shine. I think that's like the brightest shine. So I'm just going to jump over super fine and go to super fine soft. And it is coated on there. There's a lot of it on there. So much on there, I'll just go ahead and wipe some on the stone. And there's way more on here than I need. I'm going to blow most of that off. So I'm actually going overboard with the amount I'm using, to tell you the truth. What happened to my lid? Oh, there it is. I found the lid. For my boy Ryan, I bought some balsa wood. I have some balsa wood dowels that should be at my house. Although it says sometime between the 9th and the 23rd. And I'm not sure if that was March or February. It must be March now that I think about it. It's a long time in between when they're guaranteed to get to me. But I did order some balsa wood dowels so I could carve on some of that opal without destroying it. I definitely took to heart that last piece of opal I did that came out all cracked and crazed. That hurt me. It hurt my feelings, man. The super fine soft really sticks to the stone better than the other ones. Like the other ones sort of blow off. This stuff really cakes onto the stone. Good night, Nick. What up, Hootie Hoo? Hail Zenu's here. Yep, gonna end up losing that part down. You can see the crack where the shine is really sitting in it. So from that part down, we're gonna lose, and then we're gonna have a really nice ring stone after that. I'm actually right around the corner from that point of being able to chop the stone up. Matter of fact, 1 second, real quick, I'm gonna turn on my dot pot. Get that dot pot going so I can dop the shiny side of this and finish out the rest of it as fast as possible. I think that one's going to be really shiny when I clean it off. I just think I need to clean it off. Just make sure I get all the crevices and I go around the whole thing. Now I'll do the little guy. Oh, almost dropped it again. Oh, that was hot. Oh, burned my thumb. I think that's going to be good. Once again, I'm going to put a little bit on here, but not as much. Oh my God, I can see the bottom of my thing. No, I can see the bottom of the container. I don't like that. There's still a lot left in that 3 grams there, but realizing I can see the bottom of the container makes me sad. But I'm definitely going to be making a brand new DeShine video. Now that without a mirror, I'm pretty sure I just figured out exactly where the, well, not exactly, but good enough to where the grit qualities are. I think I need my toothbrush. Give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to grab my toothbrush. Drying them off in a fresh section of the towel. Nice and clean towel. I mean, damn. That's dry and it's really shiny like it's wet. Dry off the back of my hands. It's funny, I think I see one section that I did not get as polished as the rest of it, but it's down there. See that haze? I definitely didn't polish that area like I polished the rest of it, but look at all up here. That doesn't even matter because I'm going to end up cutting that piece off anyways. The rest of it looks nice. And like I said to you guys, this stuff looks orange. To me, that stuff is red. It is red, red, red. It is not orange at all. It's totally red. The orange is over here. Like that section is yellow and orange to me right on that edge. But in here, that is green with a little hint of blue in it, just a real small hint. That is red. Like that is red, red. The color of what you guys are seeing and the colors of what I am seeing is not quite exact. It's not quite perfect. Now, the only thing that really upsets me is that where this cut goes, it looks like it goes up at an angle, so I'm going to end up having to slice it right there. So that's going to be the stone I have here in a second because I'm about to start up a wheel and make my cuts on it. You guys are going to have to give me about a minute and a half, and then I'll be back to finish this up and start making slices on it. Because I have got to pee. I've got to pee really bad. So just a minute or two. Look at how good that shine does, man. That was with not using any Nova points. Like I usually use Nova points. Boy, I think Nova points just lost their spot in my work. They really did. I'm convinced about that. I'm pretty sure I know where the 600 and the 1200 is. That little edge right there could use a little bit of a better polish on it. But when I go and do this, I'm going to have to do this side. I will go ahead and hit that a little bit better too. That's where you're seeing that blue. It's a teal. Yet I went to a red that's below it. See, if you look, there's a red below that teal right there. I'm trying to get it to where you guys can see. You can see the teal, you can see the red underneath, and then when I come on top, I went through that green and that blue really easily and into that red. So I think there is some teal blue in there, but I also think that it's such a thin line that it was hard to grab even on that edge over there. Get this stone finished tonight and it'll be in my store tomorrow. It's still going to make a monster ring stone. Like it's a great ring stone. Give me 2 minutes and I'll be back to finish this, to start making some slices on it. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Where did I put that other little piece? Well, I got this. Oh, there it is. All right, I found it. All right. One thing I'm missing. Give me 1 second. I need to find my Sharpie. All right, I have no idea where my fine Sharpie's at, but I got a big black Sharpie and I got a fine red Sharpie. So we'll see how this works. Yeah, I can still see it. It's really going to sit like that. That's going to be the way it sits the best. So and then need to take this out right there above that. I mean, it didn't crack through that. That piece is what's holding that all together right there. But it's definitely cracked right through here. Really cool rolling flash we got going around that clear agate that's on top. Alrighty then. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the big one. I'm going to use the Mundo one. It's so big that my arm on my wrench will barely tighten it. There we go, that's better. Boy, that wheel is awesome. This big ass wheel is perfect. No pressure really, just moving it, letting the wheel really do the work. Just fell off once it hit that. I'll get this out of the way a little bit. That's a great looking ringstone. Definitely going to sit sort of concaved. Doesn't matter which way you turn it. It's going to be lots of flash. And hopefully these wheels last a while, because that the way it cut was just freaking awesome, man. Like that's the biggest cutting wheel I've ever seen for a hand tool. But boy, I tell you what, it did the trick. It has a tiny bit of wobble to it, but all that did is made it to where when it was wobbling, once it went through the piece that you wanted to lose, it just sort of knocked it off. I like that. Now this is going to have to sit on the let me stop that water drip real quick. Oh, well, I guess I didn't cut this piece yet. Yeah, this piece is small enough I can just grind it. I'll have to sit these on the DOP station for a minute. Dry them off real quick and put them on the DOP station, let them warm up. And I'm putting my stones color side down. Putting my stones color side down because those are the sides I'm going to DOP, so they have the most heat to them. Give me 1 second. I need to go to my DOP pot. All right, I'm back. Bonsai Bros is here. London likes to use mineral oil on small diamond tools. Yeah, I've had somebody else tell me to use mineral oil when I'm using my my Nova points. Yet when I use mineral oil, the Nova points don't cut as fast. With the water, the Nova points definitely cut way faster. As soon as I get those stones dopped on the shiny sides, I should have these things finished in no time flat. Start with my 80 grit, which is surprisingly straight for the way I dropped it that day. I was hoping to have this thing completely done at 3 hours. That didn't quite happen. No big deal. They're dropping like flies. 14 people left. They don't want to see the finished stones or find out what they weigh. 13 people left. 14, they're back. Everything's on the dump pot right now. If I go and move the camera, the chances of me getting everything set back up the way I want to in a quick period of time is just not worth it. So the wax is about the right temperature. I had to clean off a couple of my dop sticks. They had too much wax on them to be usable very quickly. So I'm letting the stones warm up a bit. Nope, not quite warm enough yet. Not quite warm enough yet. Yeah, I like Nova points, but man, I tell you what, with how quick and how I was able to get into crevices using the shine, I'm not going to be using Nova points near as much as I used to. Like, I'm straight going to the shine now, man. Being that I figured out that coarse is about a 600 and the medium is about a 1200, and I would say that the fine is probably like a 5,000 to an 8,000, but they're so aggressive Dude, that was way quicker, and I'm able to get into way tighter spaces than if I use a Nova Point. I'm just, it just doesn't make sense now. Got my cerium right here. It's too liquidy. I'm going to, whoa, shit. Well, I dumped more in there than I wanted to. I need a clean stick real quick. There we go. It's not going to be too liquidy now. That's actually about perfect. It's like a hard paste, almost like a clay. But it's not too dry. That'll be much better for the brushes I like to use. Last time I polished, I used a new wool burr that I had just gotten in the mail, and it just ate those up, man. It was like, it's too wasteful. That's about right for what I want. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm going to check on those and see if they're ready. Well, I tell you what, when I go to dop this little one, I'm definitely thinking I should have used a saw on it. Maybe I should grab the little saw blade and go ahead and chop stuff off so I don't end up putting pressure on it where I don't want it. That's what I'm going to do. And you guys are wrong about the edge. There's definitely some diamond on the edge. It might not last very long, but there's definitely diamond on the edge. This one for sure, too. I know you're not supposed to tell your customers they're wrong, and officially you guys watching this would count, but and of course it didn't last on the job because I've got it so polished. Now let's see how the other one does. First off, let's take this off. There's the section it broke on. Here's the section I cut it on. You can see it's white right there. Got me an 80 grit burr. Oh man. It vibrated it right off. There's a bunch of vibration going through it and it just popped it right off. So much for my DOP. Get the rest of that wax off of there. Well, those little edges of white right there, I'm not too concerned about because that's like perfect for gold to cover. This edge is the one I'm worried about. I think I can take that down a little bit. Need to get rid of the edges. I think that's about as thin as I want to get that edge over there. I think I can take this edge a little bit thinner. The center just fell out right there. I'm not sure. My glass is all blurry on the other side of the TV. That piece just fell out. I don't think that matters much. I take this edge down right there. it still sits to where it's going to end up having at least one side winging up, if not another side. But there's not much I can do about that because of the way the stone is shaped. If I thin it out too much where it's sitting like that, it's just going to end up breaking because of the line right there and where it's concaved. I think it's short enough now, though, that if it's set in silver gold, I think it should be fine. That's what I think. I think I can still lose a little bit of that edge over here. But once again, I don't want to lose too much. Ah, shit. Well, that's fine. I'm using an 80 grit right now. Some of those colors poking through the bottom now. I think I'm going to move to a 100 grit and start working that bottom some more. Although, yep, time to change grits. Where's the other one? Where's the little greenie? Ah, well, I misplaced the little greenie. He'll appear again sometime. But right now, fuck him. Nope, don't want to go over the edge. That's right. I put it back on the dop stick. That's what I did with the other one. Put it back on the dop pot, heating it up. I just turned that off. Now all I'm trying to do is just get this to where it's ready to set. Yeah, that little edge. That's so it's something to grab onto. Oh. Oh, I just ran out of water. There we go, just got more water. Alrighty. The back is not as I'd like it to be, and I'm scared if I go any deeper, I'm definitely going to split it. I think I'm probably just going to polish it out. I wonder what this thing weighs in at. I'm going to test the weight real fast. 4.58 carats. Yeah, when I take pictures of it, those reds are going to show up as reds, not as oranges. Yeah, you can definitely see that blue on that edge. 4.58 carats. I don't give a damn. I'm not selling this thing for anything less than $100. I made the back really, really thin. Yet it's strong enough for a fire agate. It's not going to be a problem. It may not weigh a lot in carats, but it's got the color, I tell you what. It's got red and yellow and orange and lots of banging ass green in it. A little bit of blue on the sides. I'm going to finish this back out. It's still going to be over 4.5 carats. Move into my 320. I just realized my light is like dipping down on my hand. Ah, damn it. There it is. Damn a good looking stone though, I tell you what. I'm ready to be done with it. I'm ready for it to finish out. Anybody that watched this all the way through that wasn't here with us live, they'll get a good idea of what it takes to finish out a stone, especially by hand. Like when you get done doing all this stuff on the front, you can go ahead and finish the back usually on a wheel if you wanted to. And man, if you dumped it and you finished it on a wheel, this would go way faster. Super way faster. Damn it, I dropped it again. Just keep dropping it in the dirty water. The lights I have are these they're clip light. Oh, it's zoomed in too much. I got these at Lowe's. They have fantastic white LED long gooseneck clip. They're $22 at Lowe's. I love them. They're awesome. They're great for photography. They're great for carving. They give a great light, great color. So Lowe's. All right, I'm gonna run a 600 on the back of this one and get this thing done as fast as possible. And just to make it look a little bit better, I'm not going to go through all of my polishing stages on this back. I'm so ready to be done with this stone. I thought this stone was going to have another 30%. I thought I was going to charge $200 for this stone. I'm not going to charge $200 for this stone. Nope. I think I'm going to put this next to my other one that I had for about 120. I think that's what I'm going to charge for this stone. I think that's a steal. But I also think that leaves a lot of room for anybody that ends up putting it in jewelry. Because I'm telling you, those oranges are red to the eye. They're not orange to the naked eye. They are red. This is not giving you the proper orange color or red color. Telling you. So let me swap this out. And I'm going to go to my fine. Ah, shit. That was a bad idea. I almost lost it. Gonna have to do half of it at a time. Half the back and then half the other back. Dang it, don't want to rotate over it. Should back up just a hair. It's too tight. Dang it, I shot it at myself again. From a 600 to a fine, that shine is really aggressive, man. It didn't do too bad. Not trying to do the back as good as I did the front. That's just the facts. Boy, I'm trying not to drop it. What do you mean try an option for a jeweler's parcel, Ryan? What's that mean? Ah, shit. That's what I didn't want to happen right there. What I need is something to cover up my drip spot for a moment. Almost dropped it again. Now this one edge over here really didn't get super glossy at all yet. Top's still looking good. Ah, shit. How many times am I going to do that? Oh, I don't have enough to go ahead and put a jeweler's parcel together yet, Ryan, to tell you the truth. I do for a cutter's parcel. Somebody that wanted to cut fire agate that's going to look like this, that has like really great color already on top. I have enough pieces for that, but I mean, a stone that I would think would cut something like this out of, that I could cut it myself, I wouldn't even want to sell that for less than like $40. Whereas when I look at other people's rough, nobody sells rough that has colors like this on top. Like if they do, it's just showing off of like one edge. Damn it, on a big piece of rough. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! I mean, the back doesn't even need to be polished, man. It's all about the front anyways. I keep dropping it, Bonsai. I keep dropping it in the water below me and then having to rinse it off and then start again. The reality is, properly dopping the other side before I polished it would have been a good idea. Or super glue dopping it and then going for the final polish. That's a good idea too. That's what I typically do on something like this where I've already polished it up. I'll super glue dop it, but I don't have time for that shit with the camera rolling. No time for that shit with the camera rolling. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I think that's going to come away good enough. I think I can hit it with cerium now. Where'd I put my toothbrush at? There it is. I don't even care about the back getting cerium. The back is good enough. It's not the back that matters. It's not a two-sided stone. Yep, got this back edge. It just didn't get good enough with the fine. But the top, oops, wrong. Top is looking good. And when I post this one for sale, you'll be able to see the reds in it that look like orange, but they're red. They're red, damn it, they're red. Thumbtacks or some 3M shit nowadays. That's what people use to put up posters. All right, cerium oxide, and then this stone is done. Yo, Mark, how you doing, buddy? Oh, wow, that just shot all in my face. And that's why I got a mask on, because that shit'll happen. All right, there it is. Hit the ground on me that time. Oh, yeah, that's looking good. Cerium oxide, to make it a paste, probably needs to be mixed with some sort of oil or something. Because, man, it dries out fast. But, boy, that thing looks fantastic now. There's definitely a difference between that last polish with the shine and the cerium oxide. Absolutely. All right, drying my hands off. Going to show the stone the last time. But I tell you what, the polish is phenomenal. So I got some cerium oxide still down the crevices of it. I need to go over it with my toothbrush. Ugh. Yep, I need to clean it with my toothbrush a little bit, but I'm going to get a different toothbrush to do that. That toothbrush has been being used a lot with the super fine shine, super fine soft. Get one for cerium. I'll buy a package of cheap toothbrushes to clean the stones with. And I'm telling you, those oranges are red. They're red. They look orange to you guys, but they're red. They're red to my eyes. I got a little streak of blue over here. But I think it's a fantastic gemstone. Color from all angles. No brown, just good color. Lots of hours put into it. Pretty much, it's almost like when I put this many hours into a stone, I'm only selling it for just over a minimum wage price tag on the hours I put into it. It's not actually getting any money out of what the stone's worth. Chuck P says, turn it over, please. I did not finish the back near as nicely, Chuck. The back don't matter anyways, man. The back goes in jewelry. It's the front that shows. It's all right, man. I'm not bitching you out. You guys had to have heard me talking about that. There's little white flecks. That's from the towel. Yeah, see? But I am getting better at carving these things. That's just a fact. The more you carve them, the better you get. I thought, shit! I thought this one was going to be about 30% larger. Drying it off again. There it is. Oh, I know what I should do. I should have grabbed my damn gem holders. Where the hell is that at? I'm not sure where I put my gemstone holder. So this should be in my store tomorrow, sometime about mid-afternoon. Unless somebody says they want it, they want to give me 120 for it before I put it in the store, just drop me an email. I should update my description so it has my email in there. I think it does, but it might not. Yep, I'll sell the stone for 120. It's just a hair under 5 carats, but it is not thick. Like there's no waste caratage on it, as you can see from the sides. Meant to be custom fabricated into a ring stone or a pendant stone. It makes a fatty for the ring. So yeah, if you want to buy it, send me an email. 120, I'll sell it to you. Maybe I'll do as described and put it in the store for 150. I got a lot of hours into it, but I need stuff to sell rather fast. So I'm going to put some more stuff up in the store for sale too. I should have done that today, but I have a bunch of other stuff coming up. So I wanted to get another video up. I figured I'd do this tonight. And it's going to take me about 3 or 4 minutes to go ahead and clean my area up and clean myself up before I can take this mask off, because I do all my self-cleaning and stuff before I take the mask off. So I'm just going to go ahead and close it out here and tell you all I love you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you hitting the thumbs up button. It's an awesome stone, though. And I'm telling you, those are red. That's red to me. It's not orange. There's a little bit of orange over here on the edges of it. There's a little bit of orange. But those dots, those are red. Yes, they are. I love y'all for watching. Thanks for being here. I'll see you again. Peace. Where's my thing? Where's the thing I was using as a gemstone stand?